pushing the panic button already on the Bengals. I mean, 0-3. Unfortunately, they lost 2 games in the AFC. And, of course, they just lost another game to the NFC now. So, better, 0-2 in the AFC than 0-3 in the AFC. And that is significant. And, fortunately, they didn't play any division games yet, which is good for them because I believe division record comes before conference record, even within the conference itself, not just the division. And then I think it's head-to-head. I could be wrong, but I think that's how the tiebreakers work, the order. But the Bengals not making the playoffs, man. I mean, that defense really has to figure things out. The defense has struggled. The offense struggled the first couple weeks. Now the offense seems like it picked it up last game. Now it's the defense that has to pick it up once again. I mean, the defense actually did pretty good the first 2 weeks. I can't actually talk bad about the defense the first 2 weeks. It was more so the offense that struggled a little bit, Offense really struggled versus the Patriots. The Patriots do have a good defense, fine. Chiefs, I guess they have a little bit better of a defense, more of a disappointing game. It was close, almost beat the Chiefs, didn't. And then the third game, your defense sucked, but then your offense was awesome. So the Bengals have to try and put a full game together here, man. I mean, they have Joe Burrow, they have Jamar Chase. I like Yosivas too. He has really been outstanding, lights out, great catches. Crucial player. I think he has 3 touchdowns in 3 games so far, so he's been a crucial player. But, the Bengals have too much firepower on offense to not make the playoffs, but at the same time, they're 0-3. Kind of fortunate that the rest of their division in the conference isn't as loaded and packed as it usually is. It feels like the AFC is a little more open towards the bottom of the wild card in a way. Like, it feels like, you're going to get one winner from the AFC East. You're going to get, of course you're going to have one winner, of course, in the division, but then you're going to have a wild card team. It's either going to be the Jets or Bills that win the division. I don't think the Dolphins are going to be there at the end. I don't think the Dolphins are going to make the playoffs this year. Not a great football team. I don't think they have enough firepower this year to, really make that big difference and be able to make that, to make the playoffs this year. But you look at the AFC South, probably just the Texans that are going to come out. Granted, they need to look a lot better than they did versus the Vikings. Maybe the Vikings are just that damn good of a football team. But the Bengals not making the playoffs, I mean, your best bet obviously would be with the win to the division. But I'm not sure if that's going to happen now. Are the Steelers too far? The Steelers at 3-0, good chance to go 4-0 against the Colts. All right, are the Steelers a little too far ahead? You're never too far ahead at 4-0, but it's a damn good start, and the Bengals cannot afford to go 0-4, but they're playing the Carolina Panthers. You lose to the Carolina Panthers this week, it's going to be worrisome, but they do have a pretty good stretch of teams that are beatable. You play the Chargers later on this season. We'll see how healthy they're going to be. Obviously, you still got to play the Ravens twice. You should beat the Browns twice. The Steelers, I could see them probably splitting with the Steelers, but are they going to win the division? I'm not sure. Considering you still play the Ravens and the Steelers twice, it's absolutely possible. We'll see if the Steelers, can continue to do what they're doing all season long. But the Bengals not making the playoffs, man, I'm going to go hot and say that's a little unlikely. The Bengals are such a good football team. They're just having a hard time putting it all together, and they have a good head coach. They have one of the best quarterbacks in the league. When you have one of the best quarterbacks in the league, anything is possible. So the Bengals usually start slow, though. Remember that the Bengals usually start slow. They will pick it up, and I think they will make the playoffs. So saying they're not going to make the playoffs, I'm going to give it hot and say I'm going to give it hot and say it's very unlikely that the Bengals miss the playoffs. Even though they're 0-3, they have a favorable schedule in some points. The division may not be as favorable, but you should have 2 wins versus the Browns. Hopefully you can split against the Ravens and the Steelers. Maybe you could sneak out 2 against the Steelers or sneak out a sweep against the Ravens. I don't think so, but the possibility is there. They haven't played them yet. And we'll see as the season goes on if the Bengals are going to get better. I think they will. They always start slow, so I'm confident the Bengals will make the playoffs and they will figure it out sooner or later. Obviously they have an uphill battle to fight now, and it sucks when you have a season like that. When you have an uphill battle, you have to fight all season long. You get to the playoffs and you're kind of tired out and really like, it's kind of like the playoffs. It's not necessarily the playoffs on the the rest of the way out for the Bengals. It's absolutely not a lot of time left, but they keep losing. They go 0-4, 0-5. You may be starting to look at the playoffs like every week. You know what I'm saying? Like, you lose one more game, it might be it. Obviously, 6 losses isn't it, but having to win that many in a row and win so many out of so many games, it's tough. And it wears a team down just doing that. And then making the playoffs, the team was worn down half the time at that point. So the Bengals not making the playoffs, I don't see them missing. Do I think they're going to make a deep run this year? I'm not sure. I think the Chiefs and the Bills are going to get the conference championship. We'll see how the teams work, but I think that the Chiefs and the Bills will make the conference championship together once again. They just feel like the two best teams in the AFC. Maybe the Jets can change it up a little bit. I think they will. But I mean, you look at the other, the West, you may have the Chargers coming out, so that might be, the Chiefs are going to win that division. So, you have the Chargers, you have the Jets or Bills in a wild card spot, and then you probably, either have the Steelers, Ravens, or Bengals in that third spot. I don't think that any other team in the AFC South is going to be fighting for it. So yeah, I think the Bengals will be fine, but they're going to have to get it rolling soon, man. And you wait too long, and there's going to be issues. So, and it's going to be too difficult, too much to overcome. So,